Lisa Selin Davis is the author of Tomboy, The Surprising History and Future of Girls Who Dare to Be Different, coming out in August. She has written articles, essays, and op-eds for the New York Times, Time, Salon, Huffington Post, and many other publications. She has published 2 novels, Belly and Lost Stars, which was based on her New York Times Modern Love column. She used to have hobbies, but now she has kids. And Lisa joins me today to discuss a recent article she wrote titled, "Staring at My Own 40-something Face on Zoom Has Shattered My Self-Esteem." Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I have to tell you, I laughed out loud when I read that title because so many of my friends are going through this experience. So what was the moment you thought, I have to write about this? Was there a particular moment where you thought, oh, this is crazy?
Oh, that's an interesting question. You know, I've been doing, so mostly I work as a writer and most of my interviews are on the phone. So unlike some people, I don't have to be on Zoom all day, but I was teaching a personal essay class, which I love to do and especially wanted to do during this pandemic when I wanted to be connecting with people from all over the place instead of the 3 people I live with, in addition to the 3 people I live with. So it was more like Fridays at 12, I would turn on the computer to connect with other human beings. And there, you know, there was this person there. And as I'm setting it up, I'd get a glimpse of one part of my face or my neck and just was legitimately shocked that that's what I looked like.
We are so self-critical of ourselves, right? You know, as women, we see a picture and we immediately go to correcting. I look fat here, or I look old here, you know.
Yeah.
So that does happen on Zoom. So what is Zoom fatigue? This is a real thing.
Well, Zoom fatigue is not just about looking at yourself, but it is the physical and emotional exhaustion from having your life entirely online. So there's much more about it than just the part about seeing your own face. But that part of Zoom fatigue has to do with, again, the psychological effect of watching yourself react to people. Like that's not how it works. We can't see ourselves when we go outside and interact with other human beings. And that's a very new experience. And although we've had it for a little bit since there have been, you know, video teleconferencing, we've had this for a few years and we've been working on this for decades, but having it be a huge part of your daily life where you are able to see yourself reacting in real time to other people, it's a lot for your brain. And if you're vain and or have low self-esteem and or are aging differently than you thought you were based on a few glances in the mirror on the way out of the house in the morning, you know, it can be, I just found it shocking. I just did not know that I had aged that much.
So we were talking before this interview and you said that, you know, the title of this article in the Huffington Post you thought came across as a little shallow. Perhaps maybe people clicked but didn't read the article, and the article is totally in jest, obviously. So what was your concern about that, you know, about what people may think as opposed to what you were trying to say?
Well, the editing was really great at Huffington Post. It was some of the best editing I've had. That piece was much longer when I sent it in. And the editor was so nice because she gave me some options of titles, which is very rare these days. You just have very little control over it. And they talked about, I hope it's okay for me to talk about this, but you know, wanting to mention being a 40-something woman because that's a big part of their demographic. And so I kind of picked different parts of the title she had offered and put them together in what I thought worked. But what I didn't realize was that saying, you know, Zoom has shattered my self-esteem. If you don't read the article and know that it's mostly funny, that B, it acknowledges that this is a privilege, and that C, it even talks about the kind of racism of video technology, and you just read the title, you think, this is the most self-indulgent thing in the world of a person who has no actual problems and is totally unaware of her privilege. When really, I think it's about an experience that many of us are having. And yes, we're privileged to have it. It means we have work. It means we have access to technology. But we've also never lived like this before. And I think for aging women, this is part of the experience. So it's still worth investigating, documenting, talking about.
Well, I think it's an excellent article, and I think many of my listeners today are going to completely relate to this conversation. So what we're going to do is when we put this video up on social, we're going to also link to the article. But if people want to find you and know more about your writing, where can they go?
Oh man, it's self-promotion time.
Yeah.
My Twitter is at Lisa Selin Davis. The book is called Tomboy, and will deals with a lot of expectations placed on women and girls. So it's related, and you can pre-order Tomboy anywhere now, local bookstore, via bookshop, or the biggies like Amazon Barnes and Noble, and it'll be shipped early August. And Instagram at Lisa Selin Davis, where I am writing up little profiles of tomboys there and talking about all the complications around that word and idea and gender norms and all that really fun stuff.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to put all that up on the video that we put on social. Thanks so much for joining me today, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me. That was fun.